And this morning, the altar was rededicated, was blessed at the beginning of the first Mass. The other thing that warmed my heart was that there were heads of state there. There were a couple of speeches made. There were a lot of bishops and cardinals and other Catholic clergy in attendance. There were billionaire donors who had helped with the restoration costs. And those people served by the social services organizations within Paris brought their clients. So the poorest of the poor in Paris, next to heads of states and cardinals, all there to celebrate the rededication of this cathedral of the people. How often in our own lives are we covered with toxic dust? Is our true self buried beneath poisonous ideas or hatred or fear? How often is our heart of hearts light dimmed by the darkness all around us, by what feels like it caved in on us? When we're burned through, when we're at some kind of tragic ending in our life, it's so easy to think that it's all over, that everything, our whole life is over. And how often are we restored in the silence that follows, in the space we take and the space we make to give ourselves room and time to heal, to realign, to be tuned into the sacred that still lives within us. It's a very simple tool, the silence, to bring us back to center. And we use vision. We think about what is possible. We remember that there's always more to life than what's right here, even as big and dark as this may seem. And we use other tools. We use new technology, right? We use new methods. We go to workshops. We go to retreats. We listen to podcasts. We lull ourselves to sleep with meditations on our ear pods. Those ancient practices of meditation and prayer and community support, these are the things that reaffirm our values, that remind us of what means something in our lives, and allows us to get grounded again, to realize that we are built on this earth which contains everything we need in order to build and create and become. Endings. When we think of endings, I think of, releasing things, letting go. Whatever it is, it's done. I gotta let it go. And if I'm going to move forward at some point, I have to release it and redirect my attention forward or upward. And beginnings always come with this creative surge of energy, right? And when something new is happening, it's like, okay, let's go. And again, we direct our attention and our motion forward. But really, endings and beginnings are just a framework that we use to measure life in this relative world, to set a sense of scale. Is this big or small? Is it easy or hard? It's what we use to define where something starts and ends, what the form is. But the fire really wasn't an ending at all. And endings and beginnings are a construct. There's a quote from T.S. Eliot that says in part, "To make an end is to make a beginning. The end is where we start from." Stephen Covey says, when we pick up one end of the stick, we pick up the other. Right? Endings and beginnings go together. But Robert Frost says, ends and beginnings, there are no such things. There are only middles. Year's end is neither an end nor a beginning, but a going on, with all the wisdom that experience can instill in us. You see, it really wasn't an ending at all. There really aren't endings and beginnings. Life is more like one of those rail push carts. You've seen those pictures of the two men on the cart on the railroad tracks, and they each have handles in their hands, and one's up and one's down, and they do this. And you don't have the up or the down without the other. It's both together that create the motion that move us forward. It is really the story of the infinite flow of life unfolding through and as us, wherever we are, whatever is happening.